just watched Joker FOLIE A DEUX. FOLIE A DEUX. And yeah, I have some thoughts on it. What did you think of it? I'm still processing it.
I feel like these days it's very hard to say that, this is a good movie or this is a bad movie, right? There are so many aspects when it comes to a movie. Especially, I am a little biased here. Joaquin Phoenix is my favorite Joker, and I've loved him ever since I know him. So I will say that I still absolutely love his character and his acting in this movie.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is a very talented actor, but you still haven't seen Heath Ledger's Joker yet. Let's just put a little pin on that. Like, he's your favorite Joker, right?
Yes, he's my favorite Joker. Under the condition that I haven't seen the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So, what did you think of it? What did you think of the first movie? Like, what would you rate the first movie?
I really barely remember what happened in the first movie because this was years ago, right?
Yeah, but
I absolutely
you hold it in high regard.
Loved that movie. It was a 5 out of 5 movie for me. It was my first Joker movie.
Yeah, probably one of your first comic book movies.
Yeah, probably. And for me, for someone who doesn't know like any background, and I guess I just kind of always assumed that superhero movies are kind of like fantasy world, and then to have a very realistic Joker that's just so vivid and a person right in front of your eyes, it was mind-blowing. And I loved it so much for that reason.
Yeah, that's why I like comic books. You can get the high fantasy comic books that don't take themselves too seriously, and then you have very grounded takes on comic books too. And I appreciate like them taking that route. For me, I like the first Joker, but I think it's very derivative of both Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, both like Martin Scorsese movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like a reskinned version of Taxi Driver with the Joker. But with that said, I still liked it quite a bit. Like, yeah. I thought I liked new, interesting takes on these comic book characters, and I didn't hate it, and I liked it, but I still thought it was a little derivative for what it was.
Yeah, still haven't seen those two movies that you mentioned.
Yeah, Penny watches Taxi Driver and King of Comedy for the first time, and then we'll probably discuss the Joker.
Okay, and we gotta watch the first Joker again because I don't remember much about it.
Going into this, I saw middling reviews kind of going into this. The news of backstage in this movie where they were taking like pages of the script and ripping them up and like writing new pages. It kind of got me a little worried going into this movie. But I will say, I kind of liked it.
Okay. The story?
The story. Basically, like when they said they were gonna make a sequel to the Joker. I'm like, does it need a sequel? Like,
for
what
sure.
are you gonna do about it?
Need many sequels. I would continue watching.
And then they said it's going to be a musical with Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Like, okay.
That was controversial news back then when they first released that she's going to be the new Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but it's always controversial when you do that shit.
Yeah.
Like they got Margot Robbie stuck on the brain. Harley Quinn can be more than what is portrayed in like the Suicide Squad movies or
which is
else.
My version of Harley Quinn.
Yeah. She was totally different in that the Caped Crusader, the new animated series that came out. She's nothing like the old Harley Quinn, and this is quite a bit different too.
Yeah.
I liked her, and basically it's a musical and a courtroom drama. right?
It's a love story.
And kind of a love story. We'll get into it a little bit more.
It's an absolute love story from beginning to end.
Really?
Yeah, you don't think so?
Okay, I'll get into it a little bit. I'm not going to spoil anything, but so the dynamic of Harley Quinn and Joker. So Harley Quinn started in the animated series. That was like the early 90s when that came out, and she like blew up in popularity. Well, the dynamic between the Joker and Harley Quinn at that time was like Joker was the dominant, and then he would just treat Harley Quinn like shit, right? But then later on, Harley Quinn became more of a popular character, and she started to break off from the Joker. So you saw Birds of Prey.
Yeah, it's more like that.
And she like basically told Joker to fuck off, and
It's
was
like,
like,
I've had
becoming her own
enough.
woman.
Yeah,
Right?
I've had enough. You can't treat me like this.
But like this, it seems like Harley Quinn was the more dominant person. Like she had control of the situation. You didn't know where she is coming from. If she was manipulating Arthur Fleck.
I
mean, I like that different take on Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
like she's the dominant one in this one.
I almost don't want to call her Harley Quinn, even though her name is Harley Quinn, but she has nothing to do with the traditional Harley Quinn. Like, it has no correlation.
Well, I mean, Arthur Fleck barely has anything to do with the Joker. I mean,
okay.
He's not the Batman villain. He's just a mentally ill guy who takes on the persona of the Joker in this whole different universe of Batman. Batman is still Bruce Wayne, who's supposed to become Batman, I suppose, is a kid still in this, right? I mean, he it's rumored, like, it kind of insinuates in the first movie that Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's dad, is also Arthur Fleck's dad, so that make Joker and Bruce Wayne brothers.
I cannot do that.
Yeah.
Please do not do that.
Well, I mean, that's what it's insinuating in the first movie, but this universe of DC is like hyper realistic, and that is its take on this. It's not going to be Batman versus Joker. It's just, here's this taxi driver / tinge of like natural born killers in the sequel take on Joker. It's like a super realistic take on Joker. Like
if Joker was a person in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
But like going back to what we were saying, Harley Quinn in this, I think, is still a Joker fangirl. But like what she said, that was a fantasy that she was living. Mm-hmm. Step outside of that fantasy, she does have power.
Yeah. I think like the purpose of this movie is to kind of deconstruct the Joker in a way.
Yeah.
He's actually rather pathetic in this.
Oh, don't use that word.
I mean, it's the truth. Like
emotionally tender. How about that?
Well, I mean, it doesn't like show him in the brightest light. Like
no, I don't think it showed any.
Well, I mean,
positive side of Joker.
I mean, you come off the first movie, and there's like people dressing up as the Arthur Fleck Joker.
Yeah, he's the idol.
There's a guy in our screening who had makeup on like the Joker. But you come out of this movie, it's like, fuck, he's pathetic. Like
you're like
this isn't the clown prince of crime.
Yeah,
this is like just a mentally unstable guy who is rather pathetic.
Yeah,
like,
you're wondering, that's who I'm following. That's who I try to be or try to advocate for.
Yeah, and you know, you shouldn't idolize the Joker at all. You know, and this is coming from a guy with a Joker tattoo. And yeah, I liked it more than I thought it was going to be. Going off the reviews, going off like everything I've heard about the making of it. Yeah, I ended up liking it more than I thought I would.
I think I like it as much as how I would like any Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. That is just That really hit a spot for me. I think.
How the musical aspects land for you?
Okay, I didn't know that it was gonna be a musical, so like going halfway through, I'm like, is this too much like musical stuff going on for a Joker movie? But if I had known that this was a musical, it was pretty good. I specifically loved the musical where it was in the courthouse. He was dressed up as Joker, and Harley Quinn was dancing on the counter.
Yeah.
And in the background, and I think he was saying, "I'm Joker" or something like that. That was my favorite. It was a pretty good song. I'd probably go back to it too. But what's interesting is that they used the musical to reflect his current mindset and the state of his mind, that, you know, how he felt like betrayed when he was told, you know, Harley Quinn was lying to him, and then there was this musical that ends with her shooting him, that his feelings were hurt. And that just like indicate that. So, and I find a lot of the moments that they were using the musical to like
through his different, like, especially when his attorney was, I mean, they're trying to make him look kind of as pathetic as possible just so they can get the insanity plea.
Yeah.
But it's like his ego wasn't taking it, and I mean, in Harley Quinn
was enabling,
egging it on.
Yeah, it was definitely enabling him to be Joker.
Enabling him to become the Joker persona, which they kind of like do the Warner Brothers cartoon at the begining where it's like his shadow, and it's like showing that the Joker's probably a split personality for him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it made it very clear if that's like actually the case, but I was saying with him doing that, where it's making him look pathetic, and he kind of just like blows up, and after it shows like a musical leading up to it. It's like, I think the musical works well, the musical aspects, because it just shows his current like mental state and what he's thinking, and also like in the first movie, it's like a lot of it's just like fantasy to him.
Yeah,
like, he's fantasizing about the neighbor, his relationship with the neighbor, and it's not really happening, you know. But I think the musical aspects really added a lot more to it. I think some of them were kind of like a little more unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got Lady Gaga, you're gonna make her
a lot of
perform and shit, so.
But I actually like Joaquin Phoenix singing and performing more than Lady Gaga, even though she was a professional singer.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't sound like a professional singer, but he actually put a lot into it.
Yeah, it was very emotional to see him sing or dance or even like act. It's just it's crazy. Might be my favorite actor of all time, really.
Really, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I guess it's like, it's very hard these days to like have you feel for a character, and you know, and I almost want him to be Joker, because when he was Joker, he is at least confident and happy and proud of who he is. But when he's author, it's just like so sad. It's just you feel like, why are bad things happening to this person? Because he's weak. And he's being bullied all the time.
It's like a deconstruction of the mythology of the Joker in the first movie, which I think I like. Like, it's not trying to make him like this folk hero. It's like, it's kind of sad and pathetic.
And every time he feels sad, and he laughs, and that just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Like, that laugh like carries so much sadness. And it's
like a mix between a laugh and a cry.
It's very, very powering, and a lot of times I feel like when someone else doing something like that, you could feel a little awkward or cringy almost, but when he does that, I just fully feel for him. So that's why I said I really like his acting.
So is there anything else you want to say about it, or?
No, like that Harley Quinn and Joker, them together gives me like a lot of butterflies. What? We're not supposed to talk about this?
You can. Go ahead.
No, I don't know what to say.
It gave you butterflies?
Yeah.
Like
they're so cute together.
You found it was like romantic?
Yeah.
Oh.
But but then
you don't think she was like trying to manipulate him, or she just kind of used him like this pathetic guy?
I think she really falls in love with Joker. I think even though she is rich, her family's rich, she made up a whole persona of like this pathetic girl having a set life and I understand you. I
don't know if she like actually loved him, but loved the idea.
Yeah, like she said, fantasy is all they had.
Yeah.
She lived in the fantasy. I believe that she loved Joker.
Okay, so your overall thoughts and rating?
I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 5, just because how much I love Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. The only thing is that I've never been crazy about musicals. And like you mentioned, there are some part of the music that feels it's a little bit too much, like it's a little bit redundant.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, all in all, it's a love story. It has the beginning, it comes to an end, and even if it's a smaller scale of a story, I still think it complete its own, what it's supposed to do. And I can't really complain too much about the story, the plot. And I mean, acting wise, just like hands down.
Yeah, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is incredible in it. It's got a lot of other actors that really help, like, the performances as well.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga, I thought she was really good in it.
Yeah.
But I think I'll give it about 3.5. I liked it. I liked how it was like a subversion of the first movie. I think that's why a lot of people didn't give it glowing reviews, because I think they have like a certain idea of Joker and what he should be. But as someone who's read comic books, I've watched these, or I've read these Elseworld stories where it's like super realistic takes on Batman or Joker or whoever, and it's like either disturbing or it's like sort of so realistic that it's kind of like pathetic. And that's kind of like where this lies. It's a musical, it's a courtroom drama. I think it's got like tinges of Natural Born Killers to it a little bit.
Another movie that I haven't watched.
Yeah, I mean, the last half of it's like they go to prison and stuff, and then there's a whole courtroom thing where it's cut out of the actual movie that I've seen. And yeah, it gives me a lot of those vibes. Like if they took that cut courtroom scene and made it like half the movie, Natural Born Killers. Yeah. And I love Natural Born Killers. That's the only movie like I watched the first time and hated, and then watched it the second time and loved it. So
why would you watch it a second time if you hated it the first time?
I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I give it like 3.5 stars. I like the subversion of it. I like how they didn't glorify Joker in it. Kind of made him a little pathetic, and I mean it's really tragic.
You just like how they destroy
well, I mean that's realistic.
Idol, a cult
realistic.
leader.
Well, that's realistic. I mean, and yeah, it's very tragic, and the musical numbers, a lot of them do a good job of conveying like his thought processes, his feelings about the situations he's in throughout the movie. But yeah, I think it's a very good follow-up to the first movie, and I would like to see more of these like Elseworld movies
Yeah.
like this. So I'm down for it. But that's our thoughts on Joker FOLIE A DEUX. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the movie, and we'll see you later. Bye.